didn't attend to his funeral, he said that he heard the Croats let down the tires of cars with Serbian registration plates, so he didn't show up. It soon becomes evident that this was not only communication between Boris and Vata, but above all, it's a communication between a Serb and a Croat. And when Croatia proclaimed its independence, which was followed by Serbian aggression against the country, it became impossible for public figures to maintain their relationships with representatives of other nations, especially representatives of the invading country. Since women were mostly excluded from public discourse, the position could be for their benefit. In 1994, the Croatian journalist Jasmina Kuzmanović wrote the column "Croat Journalist Rediscovers Lost Friendship in Enemy Territory," which describes her trip to Belgrade during the war. There she met with her old friend Zala Pavšić, a Serbian sociology professor, and the text is written in English, which means it also served as a representation of the war in Yugoslavia for the readers abroad. In it, Jasmina Kuzmanović compares her visit to Belgrade, as she says, as a walk through a minefield. When the war started, telephone lines and roads between Zagreb and Belgrade were closed, which put an end to the communication between thousands of relatives and friends. As a citizen of Croatia, she was spoken in the terminology of war, not now on enemy territory, and working as a foreign correspondent for an international news agency, traveling to Serbia was a bit easier for her. And so she wanted to check if she could re-establish her bonds with her friends who lived in Belgrade. One of them was Zala Pavšić, and when she came to her apartment, their conversation firstly was a bit restrained, but then her friend Zala asked her the question that seemed to be central to whether they would be able to stay friends or not. And this question was, so you also think that the war in Bosnia was started with Serb aggression and then turned into civil war of all sides? And when they found out that they both agreed on the matter, they hugged and held hands, knowing that they found a long-lost friend. Although the tone of the column is rather black and white and the opinions of the journalists about the right and the wrong choices are made quite clear, the key difference of this text in comparison to the dialogue between Boris Dvornik and Vata Živinović lies in the fact that the two women in the column have the possibility to have an opinion about the war and do not simply act as their country would expect them to act. Having been excluded from the prevailing discourse of war, it was easier for women to engage in practices that promoted peace, becoming activists, or like Zala Pavšić writing scholarly papers on the status of women in the new nationalistic political systems. The role of women during the war shows that the war did not start because of cultural differences, because of religious divisions, or because of differences deriving from the disparate records of collective memory or history, as has been claimed even by many intellectuals. As Svetlana Sobchak puts it, this is not evident only by women traveling to places of the country where the roads were closed. In the newly created countries, women were even more eager to communicate with refugees and were more prepared to gather information about their relatives and friends that they have lost contact with. To prove my point, I will give you just one example, a diary which was written during the war by a Croatian author, Vesna Biga. The diary is called The Bus People, Autobusni ljudi. And Vesna Biga describes in it her personal situation when her husband she was married with a Serb, and when her husband got the post of a faculty professor at the University of Belgrade, they decided they would live in Zagreb and he would travel to Belgrade for his lectures. But when the war started, they basically landed in separate countries. The author stayed in Zagreb and her husband landed in the third Yugoslavia. Since the road between Zagreb and Belgrade were closed, she had to travel to Belgrade through Slovenia and Hungary in order to stay in touch with her husband. And when she stayed with him in Belgrade, she phoned her parents who lived in Zagreb with the help of her friends in Ljubljana, and her diary is mostly composed of her impressions of having this traveling experience with the bus going from Ljubljana to Hungary to Belgrade, and of random meetings with friends, acquaintances, and her family. Since Vesna Bigo was in a mixed marriage, it becomes as no surprise that her entries consist mainly of dialogues with citizens of other ex-Yugoslavian republics who lived either in Zagreb or in Belgrade. The entries mainly depict their feelings of fear, harassment, and discrimination based on their nationality. For example, one of her friends, who has lived in Zagreb for about 20 years, explains to her that he does not feel